Viewer discretion is advised.
You can tell it's at an angle.
Right. All right, what's up, guys? We're Side Picks. I'm Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Nick Ballinger.
All right, NBA Finals series is tied up 2-2.
Home court advantage for OKC now.
Not no more. Not no more. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it started
Yeah.
with
My fault. My
OKC,
fault. Yeah.
and then Indiana. You split the series.
Right.
Goes
Right.
to Indiana. Now home court advantage back to OKC in a 3-game series. I mean, they were the best team all year long. So see how it ends. See if Halliburton can keep being that guy, as he's referred to now. The moment.
Yeah, the thing about it is we've definitely seen the Thunder team that we've expected to see in the playoffs and the finals. Like those fresh legs, the guys like continuously attacking the basket and finding a way, no matter what possession it is, to score. And there's just been a couple of times here and there where the Pacers have actually been able to score or score at the end and take the game. Without those, this would probably have been a sweep by the Thunder.
Well, also to add to that, without Neesmith's defensive efforts on SGA, like Thunder probably do sweep them anyways as well. So I think it's been like a whole team effort from the Pacers.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Williams running point whenever SGA was getting full court pressed by Neesmith. That was a huge key role because it allowed SGA to work off the ball and score more points. He was more effective off ball because of the pressure he was facing.
Right.
I mean the turnovers. If the games Indiana has won, like they've minimized the turnovers. So, it personally, I think Mathurin, is that how you say his name? Benedict Mathurin. Him and McConnell, like they've obviously stepped up, and if they don't keep playing like they have been, then Pacers don't. I picked the Pacers to win. I'm hoping they win, but it's gonna take. I think McConnell, Mathurin, and Obi Toppin off the bench. But
Obi Toppin's a stud.
Oh, he's super stud.
Like I knew he was a stud when he came into the NBA, but like what he's done for the Pacers in the playoffs, like Nick was saying, he's got to step up in the finals, like he has been. That dude's really revealed himself as a potential star in the league going forward.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like this is probably his last year in Indiana. He's gonna be getting him a big deal somewhere
for sure. And T.J. McConnell's been really gritty,
Yeah.
with the help the Pacers on offense and defense, but just because that's just the Pacers' way. Always been Indiana Pacers' way is to play gritty basketball. So he just fits the Indiana way in general.
Yeah. I mean.
So who do we think is going to win?
I think the Pacers are going to win the next two. I think they'll win in OKC and then get the trophy at home. I think I said Pacers in 6 at the beginning. I can't remember that far back, but pretty sure. But I think that's what's going to happen. They're just as athletic and the stamina OKC has. I don't think they have it the way the Pacers do, and they just keep running. I can't say outrunning them, but you know what I mean. Like just outpacing them with endurance, like the endurance and stuff, the fatigue. I think it's just going to catch OKC up. Like I think it was game 3. I think in the fourth quarter, Indiana was they won, and even SGA had his hands on his knees sitting there because they get so tired.
Yeah. Well, they asked him about that. They asked SGA if he was frustrated with the pressure that he was being faced, and of course he handled the questions, rather well.
Yeah.
But I disagree with you. I think the Thunder have they've done a really good job of making adjustments throughout this entire series. Like, to come back from the Halliburton one and then to blow the Pacers out in Game 2 at home. I think we see the same thing from OKC in Game 5. I think they just come out and they're too much offensively for the Pacers to match. I know the Pacers are a better team offensively. But I just think the Thunder, they come out, wheels are spinning, and they don't slow down. I think Game 6 will be different. I think it'll be a gritty game where the Pacers do come out on top. But I think we're looking at an epic Game 7, and I'm taking the Thunder in it. I just think SGA, with all that, I'm the MVP, my time to shine. I got to have my Michael Jordan moment. I really feel like SGA does have that in Game 7.
I still see the Pacers in 7. The thing with this is that the Pacers, their bench plays so much better, like, against the Thunder. The Thunder, like, don't get me wrong, they have a good bench too, but as far as being able to mix and match and actually score points and defend, the Pacers in that regard are better than the Thunder, in my opinion. And that's one of the reasons why when it gets late in the game, the Thunder are relying on, SGA, Chet, and them, which rightfully so, they need to, the MVP, and a walking double machine. But I think it's going to come down. They're both going to split the next two, obviously, and then we're going to see the same thing. We're going to see the Thunder jump out early. They're going to hold it to halftime. It's going to be pretty much split third quarter, and then the Pacers are going to run away with it in Game 7.
So when you say they split, all right, who's going to win the next?
One,
Yeah, I know.
He
I know
takes
that.
home court advantage.
Yeah,
He takes home court.
they're both taking home court.
So you think OKC is going to lose back to back, games
Yeah.
6 and 7,
Yeah.
and they haven't lost back to back since November.
Hey, no better time than the present.
That's why I'm thinking now, like game 5 and 6, because like you said, Austin, and you said the Thunder's making adjustments. Like you look at game 2, the Pacers got blew out, and then the Pacers made the adjustment. OKC beat them game 4. Pacers are going to make another adjustment game 5.
Yeah, so you're saying it's going to continue with nobody's going to win consecutive games until Game 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think Pacers win the next 2, and that'd be yeah. Just because
I mean,
just because they're going to make adjustments from losing at home, they're going to make adjustments. They're going to steal another road game, and now OKC's going to Indiana. Everything's on the line. Obviously, game 6, and I got the home court advantage is going to go Pacers' way in that one.
I will say if Indiana steals Game 5 from OKC at OKC, Indiana will win at home.
Yeah.
They will win the series in Game 6 if they can steal Game 5.
Let me be a conspiracy theorist on this, and let me say, I know how much you hate this, Nick, but Adam Silver's already addressed the lower ratings and stuff from this, and if there's any help from the refs, there's no way that this isn't going 7 games. And I think what people want, no one's going to want to see any games be blown out.
Right.
So no matter who jumps out to an early lead, like we assume the Thunder will, I think the refs are going to find a way to keep this close, regardless. And Pacers in 7.
But on that note, though, ratings and stuff, if I'm not mistaken, I seen it last week. This NBA Finals is the highest rated NBA Finals on linear TV, and that has been in years, if I'm not mistaken. So the ratings are higher than what it has been. If you count just because obviously, DirecTV and Dish and cable, all it's going away. Everybody knows it's going away.
Right.
So you got to get all the numbers from all the streaming services, Roku, Hulu, YouTube TV. You got to get all that. And if you add all the numbers up, yeah, one individual service isn't highly rated, but all of them combined is highly rated, viewing wise.
Right. I don't know. I just know that I've seen that Adam Silver had addressed it. So, I mean, if there's any time to try to make sure that nobody goes back to back, it would be now. And to keep games close, like I said, I mean, without really cheating or, doing that kind of thing, the refs can call fouls and stuff, call stuff that they typically wouldn't call that's a lot closer.
Yeah.
So it's not really out of their realm. It's just like, hey, where you typically wouldn't call this reach in, you know, you might want to call it, and as long as it's not putting somebody out of the game or something like that, like on different players and stuff to try to keep games close.
But now with
Yeah,
with
Chico
the
does that to me as well.
yeah with the controversy of the draft, everybody's saying, oh, of course Dallas gets the number one overall pick. You think it's now's the time to rig the finals after you supposedly rigged the draft?
Well, I think that's the thing that's always been in question is finals being rigged, and as far as like
Always.
making it more entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, to the point where, okay, let's not say rigged, let's say more let's say
Make it
more
closer, more competitive. More
Yeah.
competitive is what we're
No,
looking
that's
for.
not the word I'm looking for. More not as lax on calls. How about that?
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to the college, the championship with the college basketball championship with Florida and Houston. Well, there was 3 fouls or 4 fouls called in the first half, and in the second half there was like 27.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. Play a factor in controlling the outcome of a game.
Right. Which, unfortunately, I mean, let's be honest, that stuff happens because the refs have discretion on calls.
Yeah. Well, they usually have a meeting like, oh, we didn't call enough fouls, so let's go call more fouls.
Right. Aside from the NBA Finals, where do y'all think Kevin Durant's going to end up?
Oh, I had that in my head too.
I think he's going to go to Miami. I don't know. I just think Kevin Durant wants to be down on the beach in Miami. You know what I mean? He wants that. Because, like, if you look at, like, Kevin Durant, he traveled out to Golden State for championships, right? He went to Phoenix, a spot where he thought, like, I don't understand why the Phoenix wasn't very good. They had talent everywhere. They just didn't play well together. I don't know. I just feel like he goes down to Miami. Maybe they bring in somebody else to help him out, but I just feel like that's where he wants to go because this is the end of his career.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the teams I've heard. The other two have been the Rockets and the Spurs. I don't really know exactly what's obviously, Spurs-wise, they're looking to potentially put him somewhere with Wemby. But to me, if I'm San Antonio, I don't care if Durant wants to come here or not. If I got a chance to get Giannis, I'm not taking a 37-year-old Durant when I can take that number 2 pick and package it in with Milwaukee and get Giannis myself.
Well, the talk was if he ends up going to Houston, that Jalen Green would be in the deal. Do you think that would be worth moving one of the futures of your franchise away for Kevin Durant? It's going to play 2 or 3 years at most.
Absolutely not.
So I don't think it's worth it for the Rockets.
Because the Spurs are the team I was thinking of, but who they got? They got Wemby and Kyrie. He tore his knee or broke messed his knee up or something. Who was it? I can't remember. They got a point guard. Like they have a structure, and you add Durant, like you could chase a championship now. So what you're asking is, would you trade a future player, franchise player, for a title in the next year, 2 years? Is that worth it?
Well, I think if it's San Antonio, they're giving up 4 first-round picks.
See, my problem with that argument altogether is the fact that Kevin Durant, he can't really stay healthy year to year. So, like, how can you say, like, if you get him, he's going to stay healthy and he's going to get you to that spot? Like, he's not – he's 37 years old. He's not contributing a lot on defense. He's going to be essentially like Ray Allen was for the Miami Heat. He's going to be a spot-up shooter more than likely.
That's why I think he goes to Miami just for his own comfort, Like, At this point, do you feel like Kevin Durant's chasing championships anymore? Or is he just trying to – he's owed, $50-something million by Phoenix? So whoever takes him is going to have to take that $54 million?
Right.
Because that's part of the deal. Phoenix is offloading the money,
Yeah.
and you also get you know, I hate to use that word because he's old now, but he was a generational talent at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's why I think Miami's just a good fit. 'Cause, like, Miami wasn't, they had a pretty good run. They just come up short. Maybe he's a piece that gets him over the hump. I don't know. Obviously,
I mean, you could.
the Rockets could have used him, but then you're giving up Jalen Green. Like, you have to ask, is it worth it really?
I mean, obviously, if it's me, I'm not giving up any key pieces. I would give up draft capital, and I would give up, like some kind of role player, but I'm not giving up one of my best pieces for a 37-year-old. Don't get me wrong, NBA MVP, NBA Finals champion, NBA Finals MVP, like
Scoring champion for
scoring
years.
champion. Like I get what he's got, but I don't know for myself. Like, how long does Kevin Durant have? He's not as durable as LeBron, so he's not playing until he's 40. So,
Yeah.
are you getting 3 years out of him? No. Are you getting 2? Maybe.
No.
But how many games is he playing out of those 2?
You'd hate to give up a superstar and take in $54 million. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just wasn't. That wouldn't be. I don't know. I know the Knicks were a part of that, like the talks a few days ago. They've kind of worked their way out of the mix, probably because they didn't want to give up as much as Phoenix was wanting.
Oh yeah, well of
So
course.
I don't know. I just feel like Miami would be the most reasonable place.
Him and Giannis wouldn't play together, would they?
I don't think you can bring in both.
Yeah, not with the money.
Like if Giannis decided to stay at Milwaukee, they couldn't bring in.
Nah, Milwaukee doesn't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
No. And plus, I feel like I feel like Giannis is gone pretty much no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because the Bucks had they had a pretty good foundation at one point.
Oh, for sure.
And what Damian Lillard's probably not going to come back next year, anyways. I would assume
Yeah.
with a torn Achilles. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going to play.
But those were the two teams I was thinking was the Spurs and, as you said, Miami. But
I know Houston's in the mix, like I said, but
Yeah.
if I'm them with the run I made this year and like how good my team look, like, do I give up a key piece like that? Probably not.
And your team's experienced now, and a little bit of age. I don't think you need a guy like Kevin Durant.
Right.
Maybe a role player that you can find out there in free agent, or possibly draft. You could possibly draft a role player that could help out.
In the last 2 hours, we do have breaking news on the MLB. We got Rafael Devers headed to San Francisco.
yeah, I seen that pop
San
up earlier.
Francisco.
Let's see. Yes, he's going to the Giants.
Yeah.
That deal, not everything's put out at the moment, but right now Kyle Harrison and Jordan Hicks are part of that deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I looked. Whenever I seen it,
So-
I got the notification. I looked. But I
How
didn't see.
okay. So he didn't want Bregman to start over him because he was a Golden Glove third baseman. He didn't want to play first base. He wants to go to San Francisco,
Where Matt Chapman's
where there's
at.
another Gold Glove third baseman already there.
Well, I wonder if it's not his.
Time.
It's not his option to go there. I wonder.
I'm sure it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
would you give a guy what he wanted after he brought out this diva mentality?
Yeah.
First off, not just that. Why are the Red Sox doing this deal right now?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Because Bregman supposedly isn't coming back until the All-Star break, which given is like another 3 or 4 weeks, I think. But
You're essentially giving up before the All-Star break is what it feels like, and your team's not that far out of it.
are they out of it? I didn't think so. I felt
That's what I'm saying. They're
I
not.
felt
I'm
like
saying
they were
they're not.
right in the mix.
They're not winning the division right now.
They're on a 5-game win streak right now. So
It makes you wonder though, like what?
Okay, they're second to last. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not that far out of it. Though.
yeah, they're
But-
only 6.5 games back out of first.
But it makes you wonder,
Person
like,
there.
what's happened in the clubhouse
Yeah.
that's made this trade happen.
Yeah,
Because you just signed him last year to what, a 10-year deal?
yeah, big deal.
I see
So
an article I'm looking at right now that says he didn't want to be in Boston anymore, so it's probably a. That's the headline.
Yeah, see, this makes no sense because you're looking at it. Even though they're second to last, they've got 37 games. The only like in the other in the other two divisions, the number twos in both those both have 36 games. So technically, they'd be a playoff team right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. That don't make any sense.
and also to get in Kyle Harrison and Jordan Hicks, like I don't know. I feel like there's got to be more in there than that.
Yeah, I mean, there was more that was to come, but like the key pieces of that deal supposedly were.
Like Kyle Harrison might have a good future. Jordan Hicks, like, I mean, what are you going to put him in the bullpen? Because, like, starting wise, Jordan Hicks has just got imploded on.
Let's see.
I want to say Jordan Hicks' ERA is over 5, probably 1-6 or 1-7. He's not pitched well at all.
Outfielder James Tibbs is
Oh,
also coming.
now that's a big piece.
Yep, I was
That's
not.
that's Florida. That's Florida State right there.
Yeah, that
Played in the College World Series last year.
that just come out. Let's see.
That's a solid player. Dang, dude, the ball. Okay, so I was completely against the Rafael Devers trade, but now when you think about Tibbs, along with all these young players that Boston already has, like
So he's in
Boston's looking to build something for like the next 10 years.
he's in year 2 of an 11-year, $331 million deal. He signed this in January of 2023. So his extension is like they have control till 2033.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's and San Francisco is they're competing with the Dodgers
Oh,
out
they're
there.
they're for sure competing.
So I mean, I think it's a good piece for the Giants for sure.
Okay, so not to cut you off, but I see now that Matt Chapman, it's saying he's out for a month. So,
Oh yeah, I did see he did get hurt like a couple of days
but
ago.
I mean,
I wasn't sure on the specific.
Devers is hardcore against playing DH. So, are they expecting?
To move Matt Chapman.
Yeah.
Matt
Or-
Chapman can play first base.
Yeah,
And
but
maybe-
Tristan Cassis is out. He's been out all year. He's out for the year. So,
No, I'm
Who do
saying
they-
Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman's staying with the Giants, though, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
he
what
could, he could move to first base for the Giants because, like, at this point in his career, at the age that he's at, maybe first base is a good decision for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's more of the realm of possibility. I can see that. I was more so thinking about this from the Red Sox side, but I guess if they're dumping the money and freeing up $330 million to drop him, San Francisco is playing really well and competing in like for that division. Bringing in somebody like Devers, especially how hot his bat's been, like with Chapman out now, I guess I can see kind of like the motivation on their side. Not as much for Boston.
I think Boston's is for the future. You know?
Yeah, because that.
Bring in a good.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I mean, they got a bunch of young guys, don't? I mean, Roman Anthony, and then we talked about 2 or 3.
They
of them.
got Rafaela,
Yeah.
Marcelo Meyer,
Yeah, so
Christian Campbell.
I wonder if
They
it's just what did we say they were second from last? Like can't do much worse. Might as well just bring those young guys in and let them start developing in the big league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
but-
was something I talked about last Sunday. It was like we were talking about Roman Anthony. I was like, you might as well bring him up now, especially if you are starting to make a playoff push.
Well, San Francisco's in
September,
second.
You don't want to call Roman Anthony up in September or some of these big name prospects in September when you're already competing for the playoffs because you're not going to get much out of it.
Yeah.
You get them used to the MLB now, you'll get more later in the year.
The Giants are on an 8-2 run in their last 10. They're one game out of first.
Yeah, and they play tonight. They're playing right now.
Yeah, so I
Dodgers.
mean,
They could even the series. They could be even right now.
they could be tied for first.
All
Or
right.
that would put them into first actually because they take tiebreaker.
I don't know.
Speaking of Roman, go ahead.
Pretty big deal for the Giants, in my opinion. Really.
Yeah.
Speaking of Roman Anthony, what?
Yeah, I mean, remember I told y'all my concern with him whenever you're talking about moving him up was his strikeouts. Like he's played 5 games. Yeah, it's only 5 games, but he's got in 5 games he's only had 1 hit and 4 strikeouts.
That's normal though.
Yeah, to be
You look
expected.
at go back. So we
Go
back
look
to
at Jack
Jackson Holiday.
Caglione.
Look at Jackson
Yeah.
Holiday last year.
Look at Spencer Torkelson. It took Spencer Torkelson 2 years. He was the #1 rated prospect.
Yeah.
Took him 2 years. Now, my man, he does have a 230 average, I think, but he's a freaking extra base hitting machine.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm just saying that was my concern whenever we brought him up last week was like his strikeout. He's on it like
5 games and 4 strikeouts isn't bad. 1 hit.
1 hit. Yeah, though. Yeah,
One
that's what I'm
hit's
saying.
bad.
Like the hit
Well,
to strikeout ratio, even the home run to strikeout ratio in the minors wasn't that great.
But to defend Roman Anthony and Caglione, they have both been piecing the ball up. They've just been very unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like Jack Caglione, I want to say he's had 4 or 5 outs where he's hit the ball over 110 miles an hour, or over 100, over 100 and something. It was over 100 for sure. So Jack Caglione's been very unfortunate so far. But that's the reason why I'm big on calling prospects up sooner than later, because you want them to go ahead. Like that's your dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've worked your entire life to get to that point in your career. You're obviously going to be nervous every time you step up to the plate, and then then to get off to a rough start. I mean, look at Jarren Duran a few years ago. Got off to such a bad start. He was dealing with mental health problems. And now look at he was the All-Star Game MVP 2 years ago. So I mean, it's tough when they first come up. That's why I'm big on bringing them up as soon as possible, so they can go ahead and get those jitters out, and they can just play the game. At the age of 22, 23, where they're not worried about as much as they would have been, if they were called up at that age.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying. I guess you're right. I mean, it's best to be called up now before the All-Star break. He can go ahead and maybe get in the routine of. But I don't know. I just whenever I looked at his stats and I seen there was really realistically wasn't very much improvement from his first year in the minors to his current year before he got called up in the minors. He's like as good of a prospect as he is. You would think you would see like improvement, and
But you said he was hitting
stagnant.
He was hitting 280 though, right? You said he was hitting 280 in the minor leagues.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I'm not talking about like his average. I'm talking about like
strikeouts.
Yeah, his strikeouts. Like
yeah,
I'd rather you ground out the first every at bat than strike out every other at bat
or bunt.
Yeah. So,
no, I mean, unfortunately, like that's a big part of the game, though. Like, the game is different, than it was a few years ago. Like you don't see a lot of people that just trying to put the bat on the ball. A lot of people are swinging hard.
Now
that we have exit velos is a big part of the game. People want to hit the ball hard. They want to see those high exit velos because they lead to better stats. Statistically,
I guess I could look at this different if I knew it. Like I haven't watched him, so I don't really know. I'm just looking at his stats. Obviously, is he a Aaron Judge, Mike Trout type player, to where if he hits the ball, it's going yard, or is he 50-50? He might get 30 home runs a year, but he's going to just make good contact, or is he a home run hitter type?
Well, unfortunately, that's the hard part about the MLB is you never know.
Yeah.
So we don't know yet.
You'll never know about anybody. I promise you. You can predict. You can guess. You'll never know. You see these number one prospects that come into the MLB, and their game is completely different than it was their entire time through the
Yeah.
minor league.
Because
And
Like Joey Gallo, for example. Joey Gallo was a machine in the minor leagues. He got to the MLB, and he was a totally different player.
if he was a home
Okay.
home run hitter like your Aaron Judge or Juan Soto, Shohei, I could see him striking out every other at bat because it's either a strikeout or a home run. That's what you're going to get. But I'm not
Sure.
seeing the home runs to correlate with the strikeouts to make it seem like a reasonable trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
well, I
well, I
mean,
think
that's like Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson was #1 prospect, and his first year in, he was not that good. Then year 2, the guy come out there and hit 40 bombs. So like, it's one of those things. You got to see the players,
Yeah.
see how they pick up the game and stuff like that. Just like I said, Spencer Torkelson. I mean, he got sent down to back to the minors like 3 times. And the expectation for this guy was high. Like, he was the best, like, out of his class, he was the best hitter in college. Everybody just knew that it was going to translate to the MLB. And it took him forever to start hitting.
Yeah.
Like, and technically, I mean, with a 230 average, he's technically not still hitting. But when he hits it, he's hitting it hard.
well, the
So,
discipline's there though. That's a big
Yeah, the
thing.
discipline is
That's
there
a
for
big
sure.
thing that they develop in the MLB is a lot of discipline. And it's just you really have to adapt to the MLB way. That takes some time.
I wish that was Nolan Gorman. we need to get his discipline in check.
Yeah, he's shown signs, but then he just always goes back to the same.
Yeah, he
way.
just he gets on a skid and he goes right back to normal.
I got you. I got a question for you. The NL Central, the Cubs are right. Well, as of right now, when I looked before we started, they were 5.5 games ahead. The Brewers, the Cardinals, and the Reds are all within 2 games of each other. Who do y'all see closing that gap in the Central Division sooner rather than later? I know you hope the Cardinals, but who do you realistically see?
It's going to be the Brewers.
Yeah,
The Brewers are probably going to win that division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see them winning that for sure too. They're just like the Cubs. That's the only thing I hate as a Cardinals fan is that when you watch this, Milwaukee makes the right moves and the Cubs make the right moves. Like, neither one of them are afraid to sign superstars if they need them. And Milwaukee, like, their pitching's good enough that they can do it. Especially now that, I watched Quinn Priester. He was a guy that everybody was. I think he come from Pittsburgh. Everybody was wondering, like, hey, he looks good. Like, is he going to be worth a dang? And then he wasn't. And then now he's pitching for Milwaukee, and he looks really good. And it's like, dadgummit, man.
Well, that's another thing. You said Pittsburgh. He went to Boston, and then Boston traded him to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to my fantasy team for believing in Quinn Priester all these years.
Yeah. Sad but true. If it's gonna be tough, but if the Cubs don't win it, it'll be Milwaukee. But I'd say Cincinnati would have a chance if their team could stay healthy, especially their rotation. Like, they're constantly losing Hunter Green that's still not there. Nick Lodolo. Like, you've got these young pitchers with really good arm talent that they just can't keep healthy.
Yeah.
And
Cincinnati's still too young, in my opinion. I think that's their biggest downfall is they're still too young.
well, you can't say that about Ellie De La Cruz because if it wasn't for that man, I don't know if they'd win any games.
They'd probably blow the Pirates.
You got several players on that team that can hit, like TJ and Ellie's the main one, but TJ leading off. My mind's drawn.
Well, Will Benson's shown
Benson?
life throughout his short career so far.
But it just comes down to, like, Ellie. I know for a fact that he's hit like 3 or 4 home runs in the last week, and he's just propelled them over teams with their mediocre pitching. So, like what are we gonna see? Andrew Abbott for them. He's pitching phenomenal.
Amazing.
Yeah,
He's
but
6-1 with like a 136 ERA or something.
yeah, he's definitely sub 2. But you got let's see, you got TJ out there that hits. Ellie's obviously hitting. They can't keep Matt McClain healthy. They can't keep Spencer Steer healthy. They can't keep Marte healthy. And then
Tyler Stevenson.
Stevenson. And then they're freaking pitching, like I said, Lodolo, freaking Hunter Green. I mean, that team has the tools to succeed. They just can't freaking stay healthy. I mean,
And then you look at the back end of their bullpen, like the fall off of Diaz.
right.
Like, I mean, that dude was so dominant 2 years ago, and now, like, I don't even think he has he went to the Dodgers, and I think the Dodgers sent him back down to the minor league. Just like
Yes.
pitching's always been a problem in Cincinnati for a while now.
It's just funny that they have these pieces and like, you have those teams that have problems keeping people healthy, and they just seem to be one of them.
And then you have teams like Milwaukee that just seem to be well balanced every single year in all aspects of the game.
Yeah, and even if they're hurt,
Yeah, they got
they still
depth.
find a way.
Yeah,
to consistently
you already
win.
any update on Woodruff?
He got hit by a line drive in the arm, and I don't think he's pitched since. Not that I've seen. I could be wrong.
I just know last we talked to him, he was on
He
assignment
was.
or whatever, and fisting to come back, and then
Yeah.
I guess fell back, but never.
No, his last rehab start, he took a line drive off the throwing arm.
Yeah.
I don't think he's pitched since. And then Yelich, I know Yelich is not the same Yelich we've known for years, but it seems like every time the Brewers need a big home run, Yelich will deliver.
All right.
Yeah.
And then they also got, Freddie Peralta. He's still doing his thing out there in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is the team to beat in the Central, even though the Cubs lead that right now. They will be the team to beat until someone can win that division consecutive years.
I about to say, and then Peralta, he's still below a 3 ERA, right?
Yeah, I won't say
Pretty sure.
Yeah. And then that new guy they just called up, Mesorasko or whatever, Mesoraski?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Jake
dude.
Mizorowski. Heck yeah.
That dude looks insane, bro. I think he threw 15 pitches over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Hey, he had a no hitter going against us until he got hit.
No, he rolled his ankle. He threw the
Yeah,
pitch.
yeah, rolled his
He
ankle,
threw
sorry.
the pitch and bounced on the mound and then rolled his ankle back. I think he was okay, but obviously, he's like 22 years old, I want to say, or 20. So they were like, "Yo, let's just go ahead and pull him." I'd have been mad pulling me with a five inning no hitter.
Are you kidding me?
But he
Hold
did
on.
have 3 walks though, so I think his pitch count was up in like the 80s. I want to say.
Hold on one second. Did I just see that Milwaukee put Brandon Woodruff on the 60-day IL? They sure did. Shut the freak up.
Oh no,
Show-
they can if he's already. been
No,
on the
they
IL.
they did.
No,
Yeah,
so what happens is if you've been on the IL all year and they put you on the 60-day, it's only from the beginning of the season since you never played in game 1.
Oh, I thought they moved him to that to call up Jacob. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. So it opens up a roster spot. But if he's been out since game 1, he's only got a few days left on the 60-day deal.
Yeah, it's almost like time served already.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Yeah. No, I got you. Whatever I seen though, because I was trying to take a look real quick, I thought it was saying that he had another shoulder surgery. I was like, ain't no freaking way. Okay. Yeah. My bad.
Any other baseball news?
Outside of that big trade, no.
Yeah, that's why I was looking to see if there's been any update on it, but I ain't seeing nothing.
I mean, a big thing that yesterday, Ohtani already at 250 home runs. That kind of blew my mind when I seen that. He had 2 home runs yesterday. I feel like Ohtani, although he has been in the MLB longer than it just feels like he hasn't been in the MLB that long. He gets 250 home runs to me.
He's a lot older than I thought he was too, though.
Yeah, he came to America pretty late.
Yeah.
I think he was 24, I want to say, when he came. Maybe 24 or 25. And he also got, I think he said 2 Tommy John surgeries. So his career's kind of been
Up and down.
I seen something where there was real questions about whether the Dodgers should really start thinking about pitching him sooner rather than later because of their injuries and stuff.
They already announced he's coming. He will be starting after the All-Star break.
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking about like I seen something talking about like should they consider him pitching sooner, like before the All-Star break, just because like their pitching staff is, they're pitching their rotations or whatever is plagued with injuries right now.
Right.
I didn't really.
Which we talked about that. I want to say like before baseball season started, how the Dodgers brought in all these superstars, and yet they still stay hurt all the time. Mm-hmm. And then like if you go back and look at the names that are on the Dodgers DL right now as far as starting pitchers, it kind of blows your mind that they even have that many good starting pitchers on their team. When they're all hurt. I don't know. Bringing Shohei back earlier, that's tough. Especially 2 Tommy John surgeries.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think you just kind of got to weather the storm. And, that Dodgers team's loaded, bro. There's no way they don't take off at the end of the year,
They're about to say after tonight they're going to lose first.
What's that score right now?
5-3. Top of the 6th. Dodgers.
And it also kind of blows my mind that the Diamondbacks ain't really up there competing with them. I expected a lot more.
I seen they're finally above 500. They're riding a 5-game win streak. And, with the Dodgers' injuries, they could be a viable contender.
Yeah, but the Giants just added, adding Devers. Like, you're going to have to start winning now because the Giants got a good team with Devers in there, too. Especially Matt Chapman comes back and, they move him to first or whatever the case may be. Like, the team's pretty good.
What y'all think on this NHL? I know we don't talk about hockey much, can't really talk about it, right? But you think Florida, they took the series lead yesterday, and you think they can win it at home on Tuesday and win the trophy, or you think it'll go 7?
I think Florida wins it at home. I just think Florida's too complete. Like, I want Edmonton to win. Like, there's a lot of names on that team that I like, and but they're a complete. Like, from what I don't have a whole lot of hockey knowledge, so I'm I don't have a whole lot of hockey knowledge for anyone that hears it.
That's why I was just asking, what do you like? I know you've been talking about it the past week or so. We've been watching it, but I didn't know if you think this would be the end of it, or you think it'll go 7 back to Edmonton.
But from what I've seen, though, Florida's pretty complete. They have a really complete team.
Yeah, I agree. I about to say and when they're out there, like, you just notice like how much better they are at actually attacking and scoring than the Oilers are.
Because if I'm not mistaken, go ahead.
Like the Oilers, it feels like they get a lot of opportunities, but they're a little shaky on finishing. But when it feels like Florida gets that opportunity, you're like, oh god, Florida's going to score for sure. You kind of get that feeling. Right. When Edmonton goes, you're kind of like, is this going to be another missed opportunity? So there's a different feeling on both sides, just from a person that's never really been a fan of hockey or know anything about it, but just from watching on the outside looking in.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I hate to say it, but that series almost reminds me of the NBA series. Like, when Florida wins, they blow them out. Like, all right, Edmonton won game 1, 4-3. Florida won game 2, 5-4.
Both of those in overtime.
Right, overtime.
Double overtime.
Right. And then Florida beat them 6-1, and then I think yesterday, I have to go.
It was like 5-2.
Yeah, so like when Florida wins. When Edmonton wins, it's kind of
yeah. Well, you go back to game 4, Florida was up 3-0.
Yeah.
And Edmonton came back and beat them 4-3.
Yeah.
So like, and there was another time when Florida potentially could have had a blowout. They were. I don't want to say they scored 2.
That went into overtime as well. Because Florida scored with 18 seconds left to tie it up. Yeah, and it
so it was 5-4.
5-4 was the final. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, it kind of reminds me of that OKC Pacers series because like when OKC has won, they've won.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to ask you about that since that series is winding down too.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I think Panthers are going to close it out.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about the swapping over to NFL? What do y'all think about the Shamar Stewart controversy with his contract?
Bro, Bengals. I'm all right. This is coming from a Falcon fan. I haven't seen much success. Let's be honest here.
The
But
Dolphins. You're not going to agree with that.
I can sit here happily and say I'm glad I'm not a Bengals fan. Because if the organization I was rooting for done this to their players nonstop, like they done it with T. Higgins and
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. Now this year Hendrickson, Stewart. Like it's what blows my mind about it is the CBA was set in stone. That way, there's not controversial rookie contracts. And then they're going to go in, hey, you know what? Let's just reword this contract. I don't remember how they reworded it, but like redo a clause in the contract. Yeah, he's going to get paid the same because that's what the CBA did. It made everybody get paid the same or right there at the same. But what makes the organization come in and say, hey, we want to add this clause just because we can? Like, it makes no sense.
So this apparently, from what I was reading, was offered to all of the Bengals players. And what blows my mind is, like, let's be honest. The way it's worded, he could go out here in game one, like if he signs this contract, he'd go out there game one. He could end up hitting the quarterback and whoever it is, them lower their head or try to escape. Like they play Lamar Jackson. This would be someone this could easily happen with. Lamar Jackson is on one side of the pocket, rotates over to his side, tries to slide. He lowers to try to come off contact, hits him with the crown of the helmet. He gets suspended for that, and then because of this clause, they can void all of his future guaranteed money from this year on. Like that would make no sense.
Dumb,
to me.
yeah.
Very dumb.
Dumb. Well, that's because of the guy that used to play in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Vontae Murphy.
Yeah, there we go. That's because of Vontae Murphy.
What gets me, like, there's no way I can sit here and try to argue and say, I get it, because I don't get it. You have a rookie contract with the CBA, like, whatever, with the CBA where rookies get a certain amount. Just give them their money and move on. And especially for Shamar Stewart, first-round draft pick, let's be honest, you look, he wasn't real productive his last year in college. Like, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I know he's good. I think he's good. But I don't think he was as productive as he could be. And so a player like that, you need him in camp. You need him getting reps in practice and getting the feel of the faster game with the NFL and the strength of the NFL. You need him to be on the field getting work in.
For sure.
And the fact they would do that with him. Now, if they had the guy the Giants took, Bill Carter. Now, if it's somebody like that has proven, hey, he could play at both levels, maybe that'd be the only way you can get me to say I understand it. But someone like Shamar Stewart, you want to get the contract done, get him in pads, get him in the facility to work on improving because he's going to need that. And especially whenever you drafted him knowing you have Trey Hendrickson sitting out because you're trying to screw his contract over too.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, Cincinnati has a problem with pass rushers. Like, they don't feel like pass rushers deserve the money that they're getting paid right now.
Yeah.
And I disagree. And obviously you should too, because y'all drafted two in the first round. So, but I mean, like, pass rushers is a key to your defensive success. That's my opinion. If you have a middle linebacker and you have pass rushers, then you can build a good defense. And the Bengals, I don't understand what their problem is with pass rushers. Why they don't want to pay them? Why they think they don't deserve the money that all the other pass rushers are getting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get their angle here. Just because, like, if you were gonna do this, like try this out with some of your back end guys. Like just see how it goes, and like, hey, like
Yeah.
these guys got to prove themselves anyway, so they're going to be the ones that's going to be watching out for this kind of stuff and not doing it. But like, why put this on your first round
Right.
pick? A guy
Yeah.
that you took almost in the top 15 picks in the NFL draft. Like it just makes no sense that we're here talking about this, and this is the kind of language that they think that they're going to be able to pull over a top pick's eyes. Just makes no sense.
Can you see him?
I do. But yeah, it's. I think something come out today. I have to look at it, but they got into talks. They resumed talks with Trey Hendrickson or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to figure that out. But back, like it made no sense.
You need him on the field.
Yeah. Especially the way they done it. Is what a couple years ago there's like he wanted to redo his contract, and it was like, hey, kind of like a prove it contract. Then he proved it. Then last year, hey, wait till next year. Would go out perform? Wait till next year. He went out, had the most sacks in the NFL, and now it's like, oh yeah, no. I see both sides of it. You signed the contract. I see the company side of it. You signed the contract, play to your contract. But I also see the player side is I outperformed that contract. I had the most sacks. You got Myles Garrett making what 40, 50 million a year. I had more sacks than that guy. I had more sacks than that guy, and yet here I'm only getting paid like 20, 25. I see both sides. It's just
not just that though. Like when you put that deal into perspective and you look at the numbers, like Trey, I think has one less sack over the last 3 seasons than only Myles Garrett. Like Myles Garrett's leading the league the last 3 years in sacks by 1 over Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
So like this is a guy that you want to work something out with and make sure he's on your roster because you constantly can't keep Joe Burrow on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You're having to address offensive lineman issues, and your defense gives up more points than your daggum offense can score.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you didn't make the playoffs last year. So you need to fix that, and one of the ways to fix that is you keep Trey Hendrickson and you stop messing with Stewart's contract and get both of them on the field, no doubt.
not to mention they had a guy retire.
Though. I think it's impressive though that he's got that many sacks, and the Bengals are always behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's even more impressive to me that he's got. He's right behind Myles Garrett, and we're looking at a Bengals team that feels like they're always playing from behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm. But they just had Hubbard. Wow, I can't remember.
Yeah, Sam Hubbard.
Yeah, so another defensive lineman retired, and I guess they don't look at it like, oh, not only do we not really have a viable option, our 3 options that we did have, one retired, one we're not paying, the other one we're messing with his contract. It's crazy.
And the Bengals need defense bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is going to be something we're either going to find out something here pretty soon, because I think the deadline for him is August 5th, and if he doesn't sign by then he's ineligible to play this season.
Who's that?
Stewart.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which means he would go back into the draft
Oh, I didn't know that.
next year. Yeah. If you don't sign a rookie deal, you go back into the draft.
Hear me out. Was he a junior or was he a senior?
I don't know. It wouldn't matter. You can't go back to college once you.
Once you declare.
Yeah.
I wonder if they make a loop because he ain't like he made money. Now they're making like they got NIL, so it's like they're making money anyway. So wasn't that the reason? Once you play professional, got paid to play professional, you couldn't go back to college. But now they're not getting. They're all getting paid to play.
Yeah, well, the NCAA has different rules. Where obviously NIL is separate from a contract.
Yeah.
So I don't.
But okay, so
in the future, though, I get what you're saying. That probably could change.
But even with this
if you're
situation,
getting paid in college as well.
If he didn't accept the contract, he's not getting paid. So why couldn't he go back? Because he never got paid to play the sport. Why couldn't he go back? Because he ain't.
Technically, he's not a professional.
That's just the way it's set up with the CBA.
Gotcha.
That's every sport. There was a few years ago, Kumar Rocker was drafted to the Mets. Yeah, he was drafted to the Mets, and he never signed the rookie. He never signed his contract. So therefore, his contract was terminated, but he couldn't go back to college, which I think he was a senior anyways. But he had to wait till next year's draft and go into the draft.
But it is a little different with MLB though. Like you can technically like be coming out of high school or whatever and get drafted
Yeah,
and just forego the actual draft. Like you could get taken in the first or second round and just be like, "Now I'm gonna go play at college," and still go play at college. So
Yeah.
it is a little bit different as far as the MLB is concerned.
With the MLB, you don't declare. In NFL,
Yeah.
you do declare for the draft. Once you declare for the draft, you can't go back to college.
Gotcha.
You can't be like, "Oh, I don't want to declare no more." Once you do that, make that decision, it's already set in stone. Like you're going to the NFL or not.
That's sad for him because he was a junior, Nick. Yeah, I'd say a guy like that, he could definitely go make some money if he was able to go
Right.
back to college. But he would end up, if he doesn't sign, he could either I know he'd get redrafted. I think there's a way. Let me see.
Because a guy like that, while you're looking that up, there's a guy like that. I don't like. My opinion. He needs to he needs work. He needs to develop, and so he can't risk it by going to the XFL, UFL, whatever it's called, that other league. He can't. He can't risk that for a year and then be like, hey, you know what? At least I'm playing ball. It's not worth the risk.
Well, the season's over with anyway. So.
I'm about to say, according to this, he actually can go play in the CFL or something if he wanted to. He does have that right. He also, until August 5th, he also can, if, like, in the next 2 weeks, if they're not getting anywhere on, like, a deal and there's back and forth, he can request a trade and see if they can work out a team that would take a trade on him, too.
Which we've seen that happen before.
That was
right.
What was it, Eli and Phillip Rivers
Eli and Phillip
type
Rivers.
situation?
Yeah, but different in that regard, just because I think
they can still trade them even though they're not under contract.
Right, but I think the last time we had something like this was Joey Bosa when he held out. Now he didn't ask for a trade, but the wording on his contract, he stayed out for a good period of time, and then finally his was guaranteed.
I think he went up until week 1 of regular season. I think he sat out the whole preseason that year, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. I just remember his was that guaranteed money ordeal, and his family was making a big ordeal. It's like we don't want him to sign because he's not promised to snap in the NFL. So if he goes out there and gets hurt, like y'all aren't giving him the guaranteed money we think he deserves, which is why 95% of the first round picks now.
Yep.
Now 95% of those are like guaranteed. Like whatever you get drafted at, there's pretty much an allotment per slot. You essentially get that fully guaranteed with incentive.
That's the same thing with Stewart. Pick 17, he has that slot. The Bengals are like, yeah, you know what? We're going to add these clauses. It's dumb. It's just dumb.
Nature of the beast, unfortunately. I mean, somebody was going to try it eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. What are we looking at? What are we on this week as far as
West?
team wins over under?
Yeah. Yeah. The West.
Yeah, we're in the West.
You want to do it?
Let's go NFC.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's end with the AFC. Yeah, you're right.
I think AFC is a little more entertaining.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start with the bottom. The Seahawks 7.5.
That's to me. I don't like looking at the schedule other than like when it's like really questionable. But to me, the Seahawks is a toss-up on 7.5 because we don't know what we're going to get out of Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to say that Sam Darnold with the Vikings obviously was because I'm not going to say obviously because, but in my opinion, I think he was because of the the system he was placed into allowed Sam Darnold to be successful. And I don't think he plays very well, and I'm going to take the Seahawks on the under.
I could be wrong. Maybe a dumb question. Don't they have a new coach this year, or was that last year when Carroll left?
Carroll left. He left this
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Las Vegas.
He went to Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was this year. Yeah.
So, who is that coach? I can't.
What'd you say the line was while you're looking that up?
7.5.
So,
Let's see.
Mike McDonald. So it is his second off season. Yeah, so this is his second year.
Pete Carroll was with Las Vegas last year.
No, he was in the front office. They remember that. I remember hearing it last year. Like when they quote unquote fired him last year, they said, "Hey, we'll let you come in and work in our front office."
Yeah.
Like instead of just letting you go, we'll let you come work in the front office. And then they brought in Mike McDonald. Yeah, I remember that now.
So this is Mike McDonald's second year
Yeah.
as head coach of the Seahawks.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sticking to the under. I think the Seahawks do have some. I like Kenneth Walker a lot.
They went 10-7 under his first year.
I just feel like they lost too much. You know, like Geno was a big contributing factor in the Seahawks' success. Like the way he turned his career around, obviously, and having DK and the Seahawks also lost Tyler Lockett, right?
Tyler Lockett, yeah.
So like, I mean, I know they got Jackson Smith and Joby, like he's a stud. Sam Darnold, if he can play even, reasonably close to what he did last year, 7.5 is close. But I'm gonna have to take the under. I just don't see it. I don't think that team has the pieces. Especially you're playing San Francisco twice a year. I mean, that's a game you're probably not going to win with that lineup. You might sweep Las Vegas. I don't know. I think I see them at about 5 wins.
They won't play Las Vegas twice, but
that's right. AFC, my bad.
yeah.
They don't play them once,
No.
do they?
And that would be nice. They should.
Yeah.
They definitely should have put that on the schedule.
Pete
Carroll?
Yeah.
They definitely should have did that.
I'm surprised they didn't, but I'm gonna take the under. Looking at the schedule, I don't see. It's not a ridiculously hard schedule. It kind of is though. I'm gonna take the under. I wouldn't be surprised if they got 8 wins, but I'm gonna take the under.
You know what? Give me the over here. Actually, this division is historically known for having a lot of split games. Like nobody in this division really blows out any of their in-division games, and they're typically low scoring. And one of the key factors on this decision for me is that they play the 49ers in Week 18. And I feel like at that point, the 49ers are probably going to rest starters, and that's potentially their 8th win. So I can see them splitting with Arizona and the Rams. They can definitely take the Falcons. Sorry, they can definitely take the Panthers, the Saints. They can definitely take the Jaguars. They can definitely take the Titans. Like, there's games in there. Like, all they really have to do, it is kind of pivotal in that Week 18 matchup and how we say the 49ers do. And so I'm obviously going to predict them to do reasonably well. I'm going to go with the over here.
Now
I think
they
can snag 8.
You're just saying they need to win the games they should win.
Yeah, but
in order to get the 8 wins.
You're saying that they could beat Atlanta. Last week, when we went over Atlanta's schedule, you said Michael Penix should be rolling at this time that they're playing.
He should, but I'm just going strictly off face value here. Nothing really as far as like historically what I've said. Just like what I'm seeing team aspect wise, like I get they lost a lot, but they do have some easy games in here that they should win. And like I said, as far as the in division stuff goes, like I do feel like. I mean, they could potentially beat the Cardinals twice. Like, we don't know what that team's going to look like. The chemistry doesn't look real well. The Rams, I mean, they almost, like, I guarantee you if we look back, like, they almost always split with the Rams. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, just looking at it face value here and some of these relatively easy games that they have, it's a great line.
Yeah,
for sure.
I get it.
I'm gonna say pivotal off this Week 18. I'm gonna say the over
because I got them right there at 6 or 7. That's them splitting their series. So if they mess around and sweep somebody, now they're right over that. Yeah, I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
And you're taking the under, Austin?
Yeah, I'm taking the under. I'm saying 5 or 6 wins.
All right.
Hey, I did a lot of unders last week. It's
Yeah,
time to throw
yeah.
some overs
That's
in
why.
there,
That's why I
baby.
started laughing. I was like,
You're
oh
not
no,
going
this
over
guy's.
on this one. There's no way. There's no way you're going
He
over.
done started with an over.
All right. Next up, we got the Cardinals, 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going under as well.
Under as well.
I'm still thinking. I'm
Well,
thinking.
hold
I
on.
think they go under the Seahawks. I had the Seahawks at 5 or 6. I'm gonna say the Cardinals probably at like 4 or 5 wins. I just like you don't know what you're gonna get out of Kyler Murray. He's been very unpredictable in his NFL career. That Cardinals team is not very good.
Right. I think what benefits them is their first 2 weeks is. Now I'm gonna say this with the knowledge that Carolina is going to surprise some folks. But
I agree.
they got New Orleans, Carolina weeks 1 and 2. So I think they're going to start out okay, but then they're going to just get hit in the mouth. Then they got San Francisco, Seattle, Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Green Bay. I think it's going to start real high, and then everybody's going to get disappointed.
I think they only win 1 game. I think they beat New Orleans. That's it, right
Yeah.
off the rip.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's some real man. They're just tough. Like they don't have as near as many easy like sprinkled in games. Like they got some of them. Well, I say that they actually have some of the exact same.
Yeah.
So I'm lying in that regard. But like the way they're lined up isn't as easy as it is for Seattle.
Right.
And you said this is 7.5.
So much for that. So much for that overtrain.
Yeah, and it would be different. Like the only way they would hit this, they would have to they would have to start out hot. They would have to start out hot because their last 6-7 weeks, Michael Penix on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, given they could, depending on what. I would say, I could have that same argument for the Rams and them being close, but like I don't see it being close.
Cincinnati with no pass rush down there week 17.
Well, by then they should have pass rush. Well, by then though, Joe Burrow's slinging that rock like the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, by that time Joe Burrow's figured out how to throw 505 touchdowns. So yeah, I'm gonna take the under on that one too.
Right back to the station he went. All right, the Rams sitting at 9.5.
9.5. Ooh.
I'm gonna take them at 10. I'm gonna take the Rams at 10. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna take the over here. That's tough because the Rams are like not a consistent team.
Do you want to know their schedule for you?
I don't know. I don't. I like going because it doesn't matter in the NFL. Let's be honest. There's a lot of games that you should lose that you win, and there's a lot of games that you win that you lose.
But this
schedule,
I'm just going based off of how I feel about the Rams. If they were playing any team in the NFL for 16 games, I would take, or 17 games, I would take them at 10 wins.
So you're saying if they played Baltimore 17 times, they'd win 10?
Not just Baltimore. I'm saying if you randomized the NFL and gave them 17 games, I would take the Rams for 10 out of those 17.
Well, they didn't randomize. They gave them just about every tough game there is.
That's good. You get in the playoffs, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, Michael? How you doing?
So,
We're talking about Matthew Stafford, bro. I think he's going to get 10 wins.
yeah, but we're talking about
If he's
Devontae
healthy.
Adams.
If Matthew Stafford is not healthy, the Rams are well below that. As long as he's healthy, I will have them at 10 wins.
they literally play arguably the number 1 NFC team, the number 1 AFC team, the number 2 AFC team,
You're going to have to play him in the playoffs.
number
right?
2 NFC team. Go up.
You're going to have to play him in the playoffs, right?
I don't. Yeah, if they made it, but they're going to play him in the regular season.
That's good. You're going to have to play him in the playoffs anyways.
9.5.
I mean, we're not talking about a Cardinals team here. We're talking about a Rams team.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
That's the problem I'm having. Because Matthew Stafford is getting older. Is he as good now? Yeah, he has an extra weapon with who'd you say, Devontae?
Yep.
I mean, but
I'm a,
oof.
I'm gonna be honest. This is tough. I almost want to. I almost want to take the over because the Rams are this team, and Matthew Stafford is my dark horse pick for MVP this year. Um, I don't know that the Ravens, the Lions,
Philly, Houston,
Philly, Houston. I'm about to say, I
Detroit.
feel like
Yeah, you said Lions. Never mind.
so if they have a record better than 4-3 going into the bye week, they're hitting 10 wins.
So what's their first 7?
Houston.
Houston, Tennessee, Philly, Indianapolis, San Francisco, Baltimore, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's.
In
Yeah, I
London.
bet that's not what. Yeah.
And then
I personally feel like the Rams could beat any team in the NFL. I'm not saying they're as good as these top teams. I'm saying
Okay,
the Rams
so-
could beat any team in the NFL.
So out of these 7 games, what do you say their record is?
All right, so name them off one by one. I'll tell you winner.
Houston,
I think they can beat Houston. They will. I think they
Tennessee.
will beat Houston. They'll beat Tennessee.
Philly,
I think they'll beat Philly that early in the year. Philly usually, typically at the beginning of the year, they have problems in the locker room. That's normal.
Indianapolis.
That's normal. They'll beat Indianapolis.
San Francisco.
I'm gonna give them.
Thursday
I'm
night.
gonna give them the loss. I'm gonna give them the loss there because that's their first conference game.
But that's an
Division
early game. That's a Thursday night football game, so that's a short week for both.
Yeah, and that means Christian McCaffrey's probably gonna be hurt. He's gonna probably be healthy in week 5.
All right, Baltimore
Yeah, they ain't beating Baltimore.
and Jacksonville.
Yeah, so I mean 5-2.
If they're 5-2 going into week 8, they'll win. They'll hit the over.
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna
If,
take
if
the
they're
under.
not, yeah. If I'm sitting on the 9 mark. My prediction is if they're 5-2 after 7 weeks, they'll go over. If not, they're going
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
I'm taking them at 10-7 to end the year. They're gonna be 10-7.
I got them 8-9, maybe 9-8, but.
That's typical Rams football right there for you.
So
8-9.
what's your final? What's your final? Over or under?
Whoa. Yeah, now hold on a second. Hold on. I really want to hear what's the other 5 losses you're giving the Rams, because if you got them 5-2, let's go ahead and say, all right, they play the Saints.
Jackson, be careful, son. You just hit the bed. It's in the way, son. Why I can't move it? I can't move it. Just move over here. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
You're good. The Saints,
Yeah, they win the Saints. That's 6-6.
San Francisco.
I think San Francisco sweeps them, so I'm gonna go 6-3.
Okay, Seahawks,
7-3.
the Buccaneers,
7-4.
the Panthers,
7-5.
Arizona,
8-5.
Detroit,
8-6.
Seattle,
9-6.
Atlanta,
10-6.
Arizona.
11-6.
Roll Tide.
But they could lose to Atlanta. It could be 10-7. But I mean, 11-6 sounded right. But I mean, I'm obviously not going to get them all right. I mean,
Yeah.
they may beat Baltimore and lose to Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
Li-
Who's to say? You don't know about the NFL.
Listen, all I was doing was going off what you said, and I was looking at the back half of the schedule, and I was curious who you was. So you're. I mean, if there was a time for Carolina to beat them, it would be when they're playing them at Carolina, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if I could predict every game in the NFL, brother, I'd be
Hey,
recording my
you-
mansion in the background. I promise.
All right.
you wouldn't have somebody fishing in the back.
Yeah. So you got the over. I got the under. What you got, Rhea?
Give me the under.
All right. 49ers. 10.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over 100%.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give the 49ers 12 wins, maybe more,
Oh, look at the schedule.
13.
Oh, over
Yeah,
100%.
over.
I mean, that San Francisco team's a really good team, obviously. Even without Debo, that team's, you know.
Heck, Ricky Pearsall can fill that slot just fine.
Well, I mean, Debo wasn't there half the time anyway. So it's not
Right?
like I mean, you're
Jen-
you're used to playing without him.
Jennings stepped up.
I thought they got somebody else too. Dang, now you're gonna make me go look. I could have swore they had.
What, that they drafted?
And I don't. And like one thing, Christian McCaffrey is as long as he's healthy, he's always going to be one of the best backs in the NFL.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is his comeback season. We're fixing to see a very strong. We're fixing to see the year before last, Chris.
Oh, Jordan Watkins. That's who it was. Jordan Watkins out of Ole Miss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'd probably take him some time to get in there, but yeah. I mean, Ricky Pearsall. Let's be honest, that he was
Yeah.
a stud at Florida. I mean, he got shot and showed up to practice, ready to practice. And the coach was like,
Yeah.
"No, brother, you're going on the injured reserve for like 4 weeks. Chill out."
Yeah.
That dude was ready to play. He's a baller. I mean, obviously he did the Jordan logo in the middle of the field, making that one-handed grab.
Right?
One of the most epic college catches of all time.
So everybody's taking over on that one.
Yeah, I'm taking
Yeah,
over.
I'm going over.
All right, move to the West. Got the Raiders. Under.
Under what?
It don't matter. One and a half.
Under 1.5.
It's 6.5 somehow.
I mean, they really think Genty's going to be that good. I mean, Geno did have the last couple years that Seattle he was really good. Genty is obviously a generational talent in the backfield, but it ain't their time, buddy. There's no way they're going over that. That's under.
I got him at 5, maybe 6. But if the line was 5.5, I might could see the over. But
I mean, they're a better team than the Tennessee Titans. If that says anything.
I mean, yeah.
I think they're definitely going under.
Wait, what's this line?
6.5.
6.5.
It's not a bad line if you look at the schedule, but
And they got Kansas City last week. I don't know, man. I don't know. I might take the over here. I like it.
I can barely see 5 wins.
Chiefs, Giants, Browns. I like them. Jacksonville. I'm gonna take everybody against Jacksonville. Tennessee,
Chicago,
Chicago.
You ain't gonna take everybody against the Giants.
Yeah. But I ain't got to them yet. But I mean,
You just said
I
you
can
said the
also.
Giants second game.
Oh, my bad. I was going back to front on the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's not a bad line based off the schedule, but I still
and some of these easier teams they have at home. You know what? I'm gonna take the over here.
I'm gonna take 4. I'm gonna say 4 or 5 wins. I'm going under.
yeah. That's it. I'm going under.
Give me 6. Give me 6.
Well, 6.5.
That's 6 is under, bro.
All right, give me 7.
All right.
Give me 7. Sorry.
It's another one of those just like the Seahawks. All right, I think it's Seahawks. I said like I'm
I
gonna
stopped on my
I'm gonna
clock.
take the under, but I wouldn't be surprised if it hits over by half. One game.
I mean,
over.
honestly, like I don't think the Raiders team is good, but I wouldn't be surprised that Geno played really well and they actually did better than I expect.
I think actually,
Genty played
yeah.
phenomenal because he has the potential. It's the
Yeah.
question on do the Raiders have enough around him to win football games is the real question.
Yeah, they got this guy called Brock Bowers. He's from the University of Georgia.
He's a stud. He's a stud.
yeah.
Hey,
I think Genty's
Hey,
gonna.
But
do
the
really-
team, when we look at the overall team, though,
you know what? If their defense can stop teams from scoring points, Brock Bowers can catch every ball down the field and help them
and
score.
Genty
Genty can punch it in.
at any moment.
Hey, you know what? We may be ragging on the Raiders. We may get a shot like the Panthers.
Except for the Panthers won't be a shot.
Yeah, no, they will.
All right. The Broncos 9.5.
Let's check this. Let's check this
That's a
out.
tough line.
I'm
Right there.
taking the
not gonna
under
lie.
without even looking. I don't care about the schedule. I'm gonna take the under.
Golly, that Broncos team is good.
I don't think their quarterbacks is as good as you think everybody else does.
I know. Where's the taco salad to be chiming in on this live?
I mean, Bo Nix protects the football. That Broncos team's solid. I mean, they argue they have the best corner in the NFL out there.
Yeah.
I mean, with Jalen Ramsey not playing up to his normal standards, so Tam probably is the best corner in the NFL.
I just don't see them sweeping the Chargers.
So here's
or
my
the
thing.
Chiefs.
I'm going to take the over. And the reason why I'm going to take the over is because of Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I think that Broncos team's going to surprise a lot of people. And they might potentially win that division just because they have Sean Payton.
You know, I feel you, champ.
Kansas City's
Yeah.
still good.
But I'm looking at this schedule, and I like for them to get to 9 wins, they would have to win every single game that they're supposed to win.
And that's what a
And-
good coach does for you, though.
Yeah, but okay, you like to gamble, correct?
I mean,
How
I'm not
many
very
times?
good at it.
How many times have the teams that's supposed to win?
But
Win.
that
Or
is that
won.
is true. But when you have a good coach, you typically win the games you're supposed to win. That's what a good coach does. He prepares you for each and every game. So the games you're supposed to win, you usually do win, and that's what makes
So-
him a good coach. Let's be
So
honest.
the game. Let's see. Let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 games that they should win.
I'm going to say they split with Kansas City.
Well,
I mean, that team is right there with Kansas City. As far as overall team, quarterback position, obviously Kansas City has them beat by a lot. But overall team, I mean, the Broncos are right there with them.
that's fine, Nick. Dun-dun, dun-dun. I don't know. I really don't. I really like my brain is telling me take the over. My heart is saying Bo Nix regression. The team on paper looks really good. The coach is supposed to get them there. Everything outside of my brain is saying take the under. I'm gonna take the under.
I'm taking the under. Just because
I think so.
the Chiefs and Chargers are in the division.
Yeah, and the Chargers,
We're fixing to get there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying take that. If the line was 7.5 or 8.5, maybe I can see him I could possibly see him getting 9 wins, but I don't see him getting 10 to get the over.
Let me ask you a
Right.
question. As far as coaches go, is that the best division in the NFL?
yeah.
I mean, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, Harbaugh,
Harbaugh
Andy
and
Reid.
Andy Reid.
I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
No, I don't. I think it's I mean, I don't know. The Steelers, Ravens. That's 2.
but we're talking about all four coaches are winning coaches.
No, yeah, but I don't see Pete Carroll as that guy right now. Now, all time, if you talk about all time, yeah, but I don't see
I'm
Pete
just
Carroll
saying-
that guy right now. I don't see. To be honest, I don't see Sean Payton as that type of coach right now. And this day where we're at.
You don't think what he's done from year 1 to year 2 in Denver was enough to prove that to you, though?
No,
Was that him or was that Bo Nix?
no, yeah.
No, that was. I mean, yeah, obviously some part of Bo Nix, but Sean Payton. I mean, he was there for Drew Brees. He's now here for Bo Nix. You think that's just? You think that's just like, oh, it's just, ironic that he was there for Drew Brees and now he's here for the guy that everybody thought was going to be a bust and performed.
I did not think he
I would
was.
have to go look.
amazingly well.
Let me go look. Let me look at their schedule and see how impressive their record was. Okay, Let me see. Let me see. What they do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they were 10-7. Like you look at their schedule last year, it was. I mean, I guess you could say the 38-0 win over Kansas City in Week 18.
Did they win the games?
When
Did they win the games?
when they
should
rested
win?
all the starters?
Right.
Did
I
they
mean,
win the games? Did they win the games they were supposed to win?
it depends on what you think they're supposed to win.
Call them out. Call out their win.
Okay, I'll just start at the top. They started out 0-2 against Seattle, Pittsburgh.
Well, Seattle was a good team last year, and they had a rookie quarterback starting the year. So.
Okay,
Denver did.
they beat Tampa Bay. They beat the Jets by 1, 10-9. They beat the Raiders.
That Jets defense was good at that time, though.
Okay, Raiders
That time.
lost to the Chargers. Beat the Saints. Beat last year's Carolina. Lost to Baltimore. Lost to Kansas City. Blew out Atlanta. Straight up blew them out. All right, they beat Las Vegas. Beat Cleveland. Beat Indy. Lost to Chargers. Lost to Cincy in overtime, and then beat Kansas City. But
So
Okay,
they
so
won.
yeah.
They won the games they were supposed to win.
Yeah.
okay, this year.
Fair argument.
Okay, this year. Look at. All right. You tell me if you think they're supposed to win these games. Tennessee. Yes.
Yeah.
Indiana. Or Indianapolis. Yes. All right. Chargers.
That's 50-50.
Okay. Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You think really?
They're a better team
No.
than Cincinnati.
All right.
Cincinnati, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, Cincinnati wouldn't even be a good team.
I don't even like Cincinnati, but I think they're a better team than the Broncos. All right. Philadelphia.
No.
No.
Jets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Giants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all are gonna say yeah, but I don't. Dallas.
No.
I mean, Dak Prescott, no.
Houston.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's close. That's
No.
a close.
Suppo-
No.
That's a
Supposed
close.
to win.
He said supposed,
supposed
to win.
I mean, that's a
No.
50-50.
All right. Raiders.
In Houston? No.
Hey,
Raiders.
Raiders. Yeah.
Kansas City.
No.
Washington.
No.
Raiders. Green Bay.
No.
Jacksonville.
Yes.
Kansas City and Chargers.
Chargers week 18, depending on what the end of the season looks like for both of those teams.
I think they're both fighting for a playoff spot in Week 18.
Oh, if they're fighting for a playoff spot, Chargers are winning that home slice.
See, I got the Chargers winning the division. But I think Kansas City is going to be trying to the Chargers are going to be playing that game to keep Kansas City from taking the lead on them.
See, I think
Right.
I have Denver winning that division.
You got Denver winning that division?
Denver is.
Hey, I'm
really
glad you
good.
said it a while ago when you said you don't gamble or bet.
You just said you had the Chargers winning that division.
Yeah.
That's a worse take than Denver winning that division. I promise you.
No. All right. So you got the over red
For that,
Broncos
give me the under.
All right. Let's go to the Chargers. 9.5. I'm taking over. I got them winning the division. I ain't even got the schedule pulled up.
You said Chargers 9.5. Let Daddy take a look.
Man, it's gonna be tough.
I can tell you. I
I got them right at 9-10. I got them right there, just off the top of my head, not looking at the schedule. I got them 9-10.
Oh my gosh! Hold the freak on.
They're winning 15 games.
Hold
Red's
on.
laughing because he's looking at the same schedule I'm looking at.
Wait a minute, because I got to be looking at the wrong schedule. We're saying this team's getting 10 wins. You got to hold on a minute. Holy crap! Hey,
No.
they gave Harbaugh the middle finger of this schedule, cousin. No, absolutely not. No, they're not getting 10 wins out of this.
I'm taking over.
No, give me the under. Give me the under. No.
So both y'all taking the under? You want to hear the schedule, Austin?
Yeah, let me hear it so I can tell.
All right,
Yeah,
Chiefs.
we ain't gonna do wins losses. You just go
All
over
right,
the whole
Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Giants, Washington, Miami, Indianapolis, Minnesota, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Raiders, Philadelphia, Chiefs, Dallas, Houston, Denver.
I'm looking at an 8-9 team. I don't think. I think I'm going under.
I got faith in Harbaugh.
Hey, cuz, you do. You really do.
Hmm.
Yeah, hey, Opie's got faith in Sean Payton, and you got it in Harbaugh. Oh, my
All
God.
right,
Oh, I'm crying over here.
all right. So Chiefs, Red's got the over on here because
No, hold on.
he's
Hold
taking
on.
Peyton. I'm taking Harbaugh.
Is
You
it
got to
is
take
it 12
Reed.
and a half? What is it? 11 and a half?
11 and a half.
11 and a half?
11. Hold on. I ain't committing nothing at 11 and a
Yeah, you
half.
said it. You got the over.
Hold
You got to
on.
take Reed or you can take Pete Carroll, and you done said the under on Pete Carroll, so you got to take Reed.
Oh, my
I'm taking the
gosh.
under. I'm taking the under. Like I said, got the
No,
Chargers.
bruh. No. They did Kansas City so dirty, bro. Golly. All right, Opie, you ready for this? I thought the Chargers had it.
What do you
so,
think? What do you
cuz.
think
All right.
before you hear the schedule? What are you thinking? And 11
With
and a half.
11 and a half, I mean, it's hard to say Kansas
It-
City won't win 12 games. That's tough to say. It's hard to say they will
You
not
ain't
win 12 games.
You ain't heard the schedule.
I know. That's
yet.
why I said it's hard to say they won't win 12 games.
All
I
right, so
don't know
you
without that.
so just knowing the Chiefs, you take the over, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll read it off, no pauses. Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Ravens, Jaguars, Lions, Raiders, Commanders, Bills, Broncos, Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna take them at 12 wins.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh, hold on. Let me. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Give me a second. Let me.
I mean, I
let
understand
me-
the schedule's tough, but you have to.
No, hold on.
If you just look at them in aspects of teams in the AFC.
I mean, it's the
like-
NFL. The NFL's tough.
Exactly, but
Sure.
but how good are the Chiefs? Is the question. They're obviously right there with their. If you don't have them 1 or 2, you got to have them 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? In the AFC.
Let me ask you this real
No,
quick.
I don't have top
are the-
four
are the-
anymore.
Are the Broncos splitting with the Chiefs? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Cause I got the Bills, the Ravens, the Chargers.
I mean, the Chiefs are definitely a top 5 team in the AFC, 100%.
Pittsburgh with wait. I'm talking the AFC. Oh, let's see.
I mean, Bills Ravens are 1 and 2, right? I mean, we all agree on that. The Bills and the Ravens are the number 1 and number 2 team in the AFC, right?
Yeah.
Going into this season, not talking about history, but going into this season, they're the 1 and the 2.
Yeah.
And then you can make the argument after that.
I see. With
Yeah.
I mean, I got Pittsburgh with Rodgers and Tomlin.
I have them just on the outside of the top 5. I
know
love
what?
Aaron Rodgers, but like this is not the same Aaron Rodgers we're accustomed to seeing.
I just
You know
think,
what?
he's gonna have to. He's always got something to prove. That's just who he is. But I just think he's gonna go out there with the way it ended in New York, with the weapons he's got at Pittsburgh.
Early AFC Championship prediction for y'all: Ravens, Broncos.
Hey, Taco just popped his head in the door, cuz He was like, "Ain't no way, cuz," and he's a Broncos fan.
Ravens,
I got
Broncos.
Chargers, Bills.
Mystic there now.
I got Chargers, Bills.
I like where his head's at, though.
I mean, I like the Bills. I just don't. I don't see the Chargers getting in the playoffs. I do like Harbaugh. I like damn, I just went blank. Goddamn blonde headed kid playing quarterback. Herbert.
Yeah,
I like
I
Herbert.
was gonna say Gabbert. Yeah, Herbert.
I mean, like I like the Chargers team. I just feel like they're in such a tough division. That
Yeah, I mean,
like the Chiefs are at the top of that division, and then you either have the Broncos or the Chargers. You can make the argument either way, and either one of those teams could finish with a better record than the Chiefs.
mhm.
It's possible, you know.
Yeah.
But you have to leave one of those teams. One of those three teams has to be left out. And in my opinion, the Chargers would be the team left out. You can't leave the Chiefs out. The Chiefs will be in the playoffs. It's hard to see a world where the Chiefs are not in the playoffs.
Especially with these passing weapons. You know, I was harping hard on the under here. I'm actually going to take the over on the Chiefs. I'm going to say that Taylor Swift energy, pumps them up. And then give me the Chiefs and Baltimore in the AFC Championship.
It's either
I mean, I
gonna,
don't-
Another
it's either going to be Bills, Chargers, or it's going to be a Harbaugh. Chargers, Baltimore.
I do feel like going forward, the Chargers will have a team that will compete at the top of the AFC and for potentially winning Super Bowls going forward. Like what Harbaugh is going to build there is going to be special, almost equivalent to what his brothers built in Baltimore, what Andy Reid's done with Kansas City. But Patrick Mahomes still exists. Lamar Jackson still exists. Josh Allen still exists. And it's hard to get over the hump of those type of players, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you have a world where Aaron Rodgers, is now in the AFC. So anything's possible out in Pittsburgh, too, as well.
Yep, I like it. Unfortunately, I live in a realistic world, so give me a Baltimore that bought all those pieces and brought them in.
I
Draft-
mean, I would take
And
Baltimore
draft
to win the Super Bowl. Honestly, I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Baltimore and Lions in the Super Bowl sounds realistic. Is it going to happen? Probably not, because I fucking never get it right. But
Yeah.
Ravens,
The way you-
Super Bowl.
The way you was talking the other day, it's going to be Baltimore and Minnesota in the championship.
No, I do like Minnesota in the regular season. I feel like Minnesota in the playoffs is a different. It's different, especially with a rookie quarterback. Well, I mean, he's not. He is a rookie. He hasn't played in the NFL yet. In the playoffs, whole different atmosphere. It's going to be tough, especially if you have to go to Detroit or you have to go to Green Bay. It's going to get really hard because everybody knows Green Bay is a tough place to play in the playoffs. Or if you have to go to, San Francisco, it's going to be a tough way through there. Or if if somehow you get lucky and you have to go to Atlanta, you might win a playoff. or they do the reseeding. Is the reseeding this year? Or
No.
It's not yet.
No.
So even if Atlanta could win the division and host the playoff game.
At least one.
Yeah, host at least that would be it realistically.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that between y'all and Tampa Bay, you would only host one game, and then you'd be on the road the rest of the way if you were to get to the Super Bowl.
Probably. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns on the NFL?
That's all I'm seeing.
All right. Well, let's jump over and let's do our best bets of the week. I'm Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Nick Ballinger.
Best bets of the week.
All right. Best bets Monday, June 16th.
I'm gonna take Randy Arozarena to get over 1.5 bases versus the Red Sox. He's batting a 283 for the month of June and also 444 versus Giolito in his career. Also, I'm going to take Kyle Schwarber for over 1.5 bases versus Miami, hitting 286 versus Alcantara, and also has hit 2 bombs last week, so we could be looking for another one in this matchup. What you got?
Yeah, let me take Brandon Lau for over 1.5 total bases. And I'm also going to take Cal Raleigh for over 1.5 total bases. I think both of those guys are capable of hitting a home run at any given time. So if you wanted to take a flyer, take both of them for a home run for Monday.
Okay, give me Trey Turner over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And then I'm going to take Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 total bases. If you want a flyer for this, you can take Gunnar Henderson for take him for a home run. I like him in this spot as well. All right, Tuesday, June 17th.
I'm going to take Robbie Ray to get over 6.5 strikeouts versus Cleveland. He's had a combined 14 in his last 2 starts this month, so look for him to keep that average. Also, I'm going to take Matt Olson to get over 1.5 bases versus the Mets. He's hit 4 homers against Peterson so far, and he's riding a 6-game hit streak as of right now. So,
Yeah, I'm going to take James Wood for over 1.5 total bases. He's facing Sensatella of the Rockies. Need I say more? I'm also going to take Juan Soto for over 1.5 total bases. Schwellenbach dealt against the Mets last time, and I think Juan Soto seeks that redemption.
All right. Just like Monday, I love Trey Turner in this spot. Give me him again. Over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And then let me take his ace on the mound. Give me Jesus Luzardo. 6+ strikeouts. That wraps up best bets of the week. I'm Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Nick Ballinger.
Roll Tide.